Hey everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder, the place where we sift through corporate filings so you don't have to, the kind of thing most people only read if their job depends on it. This report might have some surprises about a certain pharmaceutical company. Let's dive in. Today, we're decoding BioMarin Pharmaceutical's annual report for 2024. This biotech company is all about genetic discovery and turning it into medicine, but what's the real story behind the numbers? It's time to find out. The company is highlighting its success in 2024 with nearly $3 billion in revenue, especially with the drug Accession. But numbers don't tell the whole story. BioMarin is also laying out a new corporate strategy. What does this mean for their future? The company spent time in 2024 trying to figure out which research projects had the best chance of success. It has changed its commercial organizational model and will be structured around 3 business units for different therapies starting next year. Let's talk about BioMarin's commercial products. We've got VIMIZIM for a disease called MPS IVA, VOXCOGO for achondroplasia, NAGLAZYME for MPS VI, and PALYNZIQ for PKU. They also have ALDURAZYME for MPS I, BRINURA for a type of Batten disease, KUVAN for PKU, and ROCTAVIN for severe hemophilia A. But what do all these acronyms and diseases actually mean for the company's bottom line? Looking ahead, BioMarin has research and development programs, including VOXCOGO and BMN 333 for multiple growth disorders, BMN 349 for liver disease, and BMN 351 for Duchenne muscular dystrophy. These are their plans for the future. To make all these products, raw materials are needed. For some of these raw materials, BioMarin only has one supplier. What happens if that supplier can't deliver? How does the company deal with raw material supply risks? To sell their products, BioMarin has a commercial organization structured around 3 business units: skeletal conditions, enzyme therapies, and ROCTAVIN. For some markets, they have signed agreements with other companies to act as distributors. Who are their customers and how do they reach them? BioMarin faces competition from other companies developing products for the same diseases. There are other companies developing products to compete with VOXCOGO, ALDURAZYME, NAGLAZYME, VIMIZIM, BRINURA, PALYNZIQ, KUVAN, and ROCTAVIN. Do they have a plan to stay ahead of their competition? To protect their inventions, BioMarin relies on patents and regulatory exclusivity. They have patents in the US and Europe for BRINURA, PALYNZIQ, ROCTAVIN, VIMIZIM, and VOXCOGO. How long will these protections last, and what happens when they expire? They have regulatory exclusivity in the US and the EU for BRINURA, PALYNZIQ, ROCTAVIN, VIMIZIM, and VOXCOGO. Government regulation is a big factor in the development and sale of BioMarin's products. The company needs approval from the FDA and other agencies before they can market their products. What are the risks of failing to comply with these regulations? The FDA and EMA have programs to help speed up the approval process. If a product gets a special designation, it might be approved faster. These processes are conditional and can have post-approval requirements. How does this impact BioMarin's development? There's also orphan drug designation, which helps drugs that treat rare diseases. This designation doesn't guarantee approval, but it does give the company some advantages, like market exclusivity. The US government sets specific pricing guidelines and rules for companies like BioMarin. These regulations are designed to control drug costs and ensure that healthcare remains accessible. The details surrounding government pricing programs such as Medicaid, 340B drug pricing program, and Medicare, and what are the potential implications for BioMarin and its bottom line are not mentioned. Under the Medicaid drug rebate program, manufacturers must pay rebates to state Medicaid programs for drugs dispensed to Medicaid beneficiaries. How does this impact BioMarin's profitability? As of the end of 2024, BioMarin had around 40 employees worldwide. The company values diversity, equity, and inclusion. They offer competitive pay, benefits, and opportunities for professional growth. What does BioMarin do to invest in their employees? It's risk time. What could go wrong? We see some of the main risks and uncertainties that could affect BioMarin's business, including ability to manage growth and execute their corporate strategy, potential failure to develop new products, failure to achieve projected development goals, and more. The company mentions that its success depends on getting regulatory approval for new products. If they don't, or if the approval is delayed, they won't be able to make money from those products. Also, any products that are approved are subject to ongoing regulatory requirements. The PHARMACEUTICAL risk evaluation and mitigation strategy is one such example. Government price controls and healthcare reform could restrict how much BioMarin can charge for their drugs and increase costs, which would negatively affect their revenue. The business is impacted by problems with manufacturing, including the potential for raw material shortages and supply interruptions. They depend on single-source suppliers for certain things, so supply interruptions may disrupt inventory levels and the availability of their products and product candidates. This might also cause delays in getting regulatory approval or reduce revenues. Since they sell a lot of products outside of the US, they are exposed to additional business risks such as currency risks, geopolitical events, and changes to special access programs. To understand more about the current company valuation, as of June 28, 2024, the aggregate market value of the voting and non-voting common stock held by non-affiliates was $8.7 billion. Strong demand for VOXCOGO outpaced their projections in the past. Even though supply issues have eased, it could happen again. As a result of supply constraints, BioMarin has lost and may in the future lose potential VOXCOGO revenues that may never be recouped, with their VOXCOGO development program also being adversely impacted. They use equity to compensate their employees. What this really means and the potential impact are also some things to consider. There's a table to describe this in more detail, but that's not all. There's also deferred compensation to think about. To put the year into perspective, let's see cash flow numbers. The cash flow from operation was $572.8 million, a great improvement from the previous year's $159.3 million. From investing activities, the company had $136.5 million, and from financing, negative $526.4 million. BioMarin seems to value their people, but does face the same labor headwinds that are common nowadays. Overall, the BioMarin seems to have improved operations and increased revenue in 2024. There are, of course, many factors at play and a few risks for investors to consider. BioMarin is currently in the process of refining its strategy, so this will influence the upcoming plans and financial projections. While some of the information and plans are not yet clear, we have identified what is needed to monitor progress. Thanks for tuning in to Corporate Decoder. If you found this breakdown helpful, please give us a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe for more deep dives into the world of corporate finance. What companies are you interested in us covering next? Let us know in the comments below. I'll see you all in the next video.